Hi guys, my name is Rachel and I'm going to lead you through a full body mat Pilates workout. Today we're going to need a yoga block and some hand weights. I would say that this is leaning more intermediate to advanced, but I will always give modifications. So if you feel like it's a little too spicy, a little too much, please take those, listen to your body, especially because I am not there with you, and the last thing I want is anybody to feel worse after one of my workouts. My goal is always, always, always to make you feel better. So keep that in mind. We're gonna start with the weights just off to the side. We're not gonna need them for a little bit. For weights, I can't find my bigger weights, so I have 1 kilogram. I usually recommend 3 to 5 pounds. 3 pounds is probably gonna be like a little bit better unless you're really feeling that upper body. Anyways, enough of me gabbing. Let's start with our yoga block and lay all the way on down. All right, once we're down here, you're gonna grab for that yoga block, bring it underneath your butt on the lowest setting. So we don't want it up high, we want it flat. And then hands down by your sides. We're gonna take a nice big inhale into the back of the body. And then your exhale, you're gonna pull the ribs down and in, try to relax the shoulders. And again, we'll take a big inhale and exhale. So keeping in mind that we're gonna be using our breath the whole time, right? Pinky promise, right? We're gonna bring the legs up into tabletop, tuck the tailbone slightly, exhale, belly button draws down, we hinge at the right hip, lift it on up, and then switch it to the other side. We hinge down and up. In Pilates, there is a focus on what is moving and also what is being stabilized, what's not moving. Right now, our upper body, our spine, our hips, all of that is staying really still. The only change of movement is this hinge at the hip, sending the legs down. We're gonna go for 5 more. Beautiful, 3. Moving slow for 2. Last one, pause with both legs up into tabletop and then float the arms up towards the ceiling. Right arm is gonna reach back as the left leg reaches out long. Pause for a second, plug the left arm down, and then bring it all the way back in. And we'll switch it to the other side. Left arm reaches back, right leg reaches out, pull it back in. When the limbs go away is when you want to use that exhale to wrap the waistline nice and tight. You're doing great. We're gonna go for about 10 more. Each time you extend, trying to find a little bit more length in the body. Good, 3, 2, last one. Arms up towards the ceiling, legs into tabletop. Bring heels together, toes apart, knees a little bit wide. So you're making this diamond shape. Hinge at the hips, send the heels down towards the ground, and then lift the legs on up. Now, more weight is going down towards the floor, so maybe you don't go as far, keeping that tuck of the tailbone. And then we're gonna start to warm up the arms and the chest a little bit. So lift the legs up, open the arms out towards a T, bring the arms up, and then hinge at the hips. I'm a little too close to my wall to do a full T, but if you have the space, try to open the arms all the way on up. If you're short on space, bend the elbows down towards the ground. All right, getting those shakes in, 3 more. Last one. And rest the feet all the way on down. Lift the hips, place the block in between the inner thighs. The block can be inner thighs, the shorter way or the longer way, whatever one you prefer. Hands down by your sides, press down into the feet and start to roll your way up into a bridge. We're lifting through the hips and then slowly melt the spine down just one bone at a time. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, peel on up. Inhale, lower it down. Keep the ribs knitting together and almost pulling down into the floor as you press the hips up. You never want to look and see that your ribs are higher than your hips in space. All right, just a few more like this, finding nice articulation through the spine. Really pressing into the feet. All right, we're gonna pause at the top. Again, soften the ribs and the chest down towards the floor. Feel the bony parts of your butts. Like actually, if you're open to touching your ass, just touch the bony part of your butt and then tuck the tailbone as much as you can. Feel the bony part of your butt pulled to the back of the knees. Hold this as you start to squeeze in and into the block. So you should feel low glutes working here, inner thighs. And the more you press down into the feet, the more you're going to be able to turn that on. Taking little squeezes in, small but mighty. Hold that little squeeze of the block, lower the hips down an inch, press them up that inch. Release the glutes, pull the glutes together. Release down, squeeze and lift. Shoulders staying open. Last 3, 2. Go ahead and hold it at the top, press down to the feet, and melt the spine all the way on down. Incredible. We're gonna take that same yoga block and it's gonna come underneath the right foot. Now see how it's the long way, right? Kind of matching the length of my foot. And we're gonna place the right foot on that block. Left foot is still on the ground. We're going back up into that same bridge, tucking the tailbone, rolling the spine up, and then melting the spine down. And we roll up and melt down. Having to work a little bit harder to keep the hips even because clearly we're on an uneven surface. And you might feel that right hamstring kicking on a little bit more as you press down into the block. All right, we're gonna hold it up at the top, press into the right foot as much as you can, and then float that left leg up into tabletop. You've got this. We hinge at the hips, lower the butt down, flat back, and then drive the hips up. If this is too spicy, ditch the block, just do single leg. This one is so hard for me, but we've got it. We're doing it together. Last 4. I wish I could say it was done after this, but it's not. For 2. Hold it lifted, left leg reaches long. See how my legs are in line with one another? Perfect. Bend the leg in. We extend out and in. Every time you reach that leg out, you're finding length, just like we did in that core work in the beginning. Last 2. Leg reaches long, hold it there, lift straight up to the ceiling, lift the hips a little higher, and then melt the spine all the way down. Guess what? Good news, little stretch. Place the left foot heavy, hug behind the right leg, and give yourself a few bend and extends. Roll out the ankle maybe, and then switch it to the other side. So just use your feet, push the block over to the left foot on the block, right foot on the ground. We roll up into that bridge. We work hard to square off the hips, and then we melt the spine down. And we roll up. Exhale, tuck, and lower. Keep those shoulders open, keep the ribs knit. My right leg is so mad. We're almost gonna lift it up into tabletop. Just a few more like this. All right, last 2. Last one, we're holding it. You've got this. Press into the block with the left foot, float the right leg up. We hinge down, drive it up. Flat back down,
Squeeze the glutes to lift. Chin is slightly tucked. And remember, you can ditch the block if you need at any time. Last two. Hold it up on the last one. Almost there. Reach that right leg long. Bend it in. Reach long. Bend it in. Finding length with every extension of that leg. Last two. Last one, extend it out, reach up towards the ceiling, lift a little higher, and then melt the spine all the way on down. Right foot plants, hug behind the left leg, bend and extend a few times, maybe roll out the ankle. And then see if you can grab for the block with your feet. Perfect. And then bring it back in between the inner thighs. Hands are going to come behind the head, interlacing the fingertips. We exhale, squeeze the block, curl on up. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. I hear a lot of the time that ab curls can hurt people's neck. Totally valid. To make sure that's not happening, try not to lead with the chin, right? Little tuck of the chin, peel up from the shoulders. So spine peels up, and then we lower it back down. The more you're able to peel up to the tips of the shoulder blades, the less gravity is pulling back on the neck. Last two. All right, last one, hold it. Little pulses up and up. Tailbone is heavy. Little squeeze of the block. Last three, two, one. Lower for just a moment. Float the legs up into tabletop. Exhale, curl it back on up. We hinge at the hips, send the legs down. Lift it on up. Now you can lower the head if you need to. You can also add on by lowering the head as the hips hinge and then curling up as the legs lift. Just 5 more. I want to hear you breathing. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Hold that curl. Squeeze in on the block. Pulse up and up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower it all the way on down. Incredible. Bring the block into the hands. You're going to hold either side of the block, longer way, and then press into the block so you feel your arms turn on a little bit. Flex the feet, press the heels down, and then on that exhale, nod the chin to the chest and begin to peel your spine up off of the mat. Backing the spine, and then we tuck the tailbone and roll it back bone by bone. Arms reach back behind you if you have the space. Lengthen, exhale, chin to chest. Drive the thighs down as you roll it on up. Roll backs, rolls up, roll ups, rolls ups are really difficult, right? It's a more advanced exercise, at least to me. So if it's a little bit too aggressive, you can also just roll halfway back and halfway up. If you're going all the way down, see if you can slow it down and challenge yourself a little bit more. All right, we have one more here. Roll it all the way on up. Bend the legs. Block is back in between those inner thighs. It's pretty much its home at this point. We're going to use it to help stabilize the low back. So arms come forward into this little Charlie's Angels finger gun situation. We roll it back just halfway. You can lift the toes if that's more comfortable. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale through center, over to the other side. And we twist. And we twist. So notice my hips are not moving. I'm tucking my tailbone forward. And I'm twisting. Keep the shoulders plugged back in place. Keep squeezing the block. 3, 2. All right, you know we're holding it over to the right and pulsing up and up. Spiral through the ribs as you heavy the left hip. Come through center over to the other side, little pulses up and up. 2, 1, and release it. Beautiful. Okay, block, top end of the mat, and now we're gonna grab for our hand weights. We actually only need one hand weight, and we're gonna have it at the front end of the mat as well. Right hand is gonna come onto the block. Left hand is going to have that weight. And I want you to really press up through that right armpit to find this lift. So notice the difference, sinking, lifting. And we want a flat back as well. You're gonna pull that left hand back and then slowly lower it down, keeping it straight. We sweep back and lower. And I'm gonna do it from the other side as well, just so you can see the difference. We go back and forward. Now, if you would like, right leg goes back and you work to hold it there. Turning the right toe slightly in to help square off the hips. And especially if you're hypermobile like me, keeping a micro bend to that right elbow. All right, go ahead and hold the arm back. We bend the elbow, bend the leg. If it's lifted, squeeze the butt, and then lengthen it back out. We bend and extend. Breathe into the back body. Your ribs are already gonna wanna spill onto the mat because of gravity. So I want you to try to fight gravity, knitting everything up and in. Good, 3 more. 2. Hold the arm back there, hold the leg back there, little pulses up and up. From the tricep, from the low glute, low back does not move. 3, 2, 1. Bring it down, just place the weight off to the side. And then you're gonna bring your left forearm onto the ground and your right elbow is going to be bent. From there, that right leg is gonna extend back out. We're gonna squeeze to lift the leg up, hold it lifted, bend the right knee to the right elbow, crunch your waistline, and then extend it back out. Same thing. I'm gonna turn around, you keep going, unless you're confused. You can see what I'm doing from this angle. And it's really tempting to just sink into that left hip, to lean your whole body over. I want you to pull your left hip in and over to the right side of the room. Last 3. Finding length every time you extend that leg for 2. Hold that leg reaching long, you've got it. You're gonna bring it out to the right, tap it down nice and slow. Lift the leg up, sweep it up and back, one long line with the body. It goes out to the right, tap down, lift and reach. Tap down, lift and reach. 4 more. Nice and controlled. Last 2. Last 1. We lift that leg up and back. See if you can keep it lifted. Press into the block with the right hand. Come onto the left hand as well. We lower that right leg to the ground. Tuck the toes. Press the hands into the floor. Round the spine. Drive the knee up to the nose. Slowly lower that left leg down. Squeeze the right glute and lift. That's it. We lower the leg, tuck the toes. Press the ground away. Scoop the belly in and up. Tap. Bring it down nice and slow. Squeeze and lift. If it's too much to lift up, just the leg lifts and lowers. If you're with me on the pike ups, let's go for 3. For 2. All right, you ready? We got this. Pike it up. Plant the left foot near the right. Walk them about hip bones distance. We're coming forward into a plank. Shoulders have to work to stabilize on the uneven surface. Pike it on up. We move here forward and back. If you need to come to the knees, you would rock forward and back from the knees instead. If you want to take it one level higher, this is the last part, I promise. Right leg or right arm crosses over to tap the left ankle. We bring that hand back onto the block, come back forward. 4 like that. Cross over the body. Bring it back, just the right side. Good for 2. Last one, and then we're holding that plank. All right, feel free to stay lifted or come to the knees. 5 push-ups for 5, 4, 3, we got it, 2. Last one, and child's pose. Take a second. Oh my gosh. All right, we need that hand weight again. And then we're going to bring the block under the right knee and step the left foot forward. All right, from here, we're in this proposal position. You can always do this without the block. Right hand on the hip, left arm bent. Arm reaches forward and back. Forward and back. I'll show you the arm movement from the front and from this side. Get all the angles in case you're confused in any capacity. Keep moving with this as I set back on my block. Little tuck of the tailbone, left hip pulling back. 2. All right, arm comes forward, other arm comes forward, fingertips towards one another, elbows slightly bent. We open and close. This is called hug a tree. Shoulder blades pulled together as we open, widen as we close. Nice, 3 more. 2. Last one, hold the fingertips touching, little raise and lower. Ribs drawing in. 2, we drop the weight on this next one and lower. Place the weight off to the side and then bring your arms behind the head, interlacing the fingertips. Right toes are tucked, we're staying on that block. You hinge forward and lift, pressing into that left foot. We hinge forward and lift. This is a big layering situation we're doing right now. So again, take what works, leave what doesn't. Next time you hinge forward, hold. Really tuck the back toes, straighten the back leg, kicking the heel back. Tap the knee back down, lift the chest. We hinge. Lengthen, tap, lift. Keep pulling that left hip back. And up. Elbows press back to help keep the chest lifted. All right, last part to this, you got it. Hinge forward, straighten the back leg, hands come by the hips. We lengthen the arms up and back. Keep pulling that left hip back. Energy through the inner thighs. Last 2. Arms up by the ears, lift the chest, bend the back knee all the way down to the block. Hands to the ground, sweep the left foot back. We do everything on the other side. So grab for your yoga block, grab for your hand weight. Block is now underneath the left hand. Weight is in the right hand, and we're in that all fours position. Abs draw up and in. You sweep that hand back, and then slowly lower it down. We shift back and lower. Option to extend that left leg back. We square off the hips.
Left armpit is pressing up towards the ceiling. Hold the arm back there, bend at the elbow. If the leg is lifted, pull the heel to the butt, bend the leg, and straighten. Bend and straighten. If you have sensitive knees, just grab a blanket, place it underneath the knees. Lengthening through the crown of the head. We hold it back there, pulse up and up. 3, 2, 1, bring it down for a moment. Weight comes off to the side, right forearm comes down. Left arm is gonna bend a little bit naturally, and then you're gonna extend that left leg back. We're gonna lift it up, bend the left knee into the elbow, shoot it straight back. We crunch through the left oblique, we lengthen it back out. I'm gonna turn to face the other direction so you can see what I am doing here a little bit better. Crunch, extend. Your right inner thigh is pulling over to the left side of the room, and your hips are opening to the left side of the room as well. Extend that leg out. It's gonna go over to the left, tap down, lift it up, sweep it back. Over, tap outside the mat, lift and sweep it back. Lots of stabilizing going on here. Left glute helps lift the leg back. 3 more. 2. Left leg reaches up and back. See if you can come up onto that right hand. Tuck the toes down. Press the floor away with both hands. Pull the right knee towards the nose. Lift the hips. Tap the knee down gently. Lift and squeeze the left leg. We press the floor away. Curl up and in. Slowly lower, like the mat is made of really delicate seashells. We don't want to break the seashells. If the lift is too much, just stay down on the knee and lower and lift the leg. 2. All right, next one, hold it up there. Plant the right foot near the left, walk them out just a little bit. Come forward into your plank. Lift the hips up and back. Remember, you can do this from the knees, going forward and back. Or if you're taking it up one more notch, just the left hand each time is going to cross over to tap the right ankle. Come back to the block, into your plank. We would cross. Trying to keep the hips nice and even. All right, 2 more, and then we got those push-ups. All right, we're coming for it. Slowly lower down, tap the knees if you want. Bend and extend for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. And child's pose. Woo. Shake it off. Okay, time for that arm work. So, yes, arm work. Block underneath the left, right foot forward, right hand by your side. Pull that right hip down and back, arm reaches forward and bends. Again, taking a second, calming it down. You're almost at the end of class. We just have to finish this series out and then you're good. Hold the arm forward, bend the elbow slightly wide. Same with the other side, we open and close for our hugger tree. When in doubt, come back to your breath. If you're doing this with a heavier weight and you start to feel your neck, ditch the weight. I'd rather you have correct form. Hold it forward. We take little lower and lift. Good. 5 more. 2, 1. Lower it down. Place it off to the side. Hands come behind the head. Back toes are tucked. We hinge forward. We press through the right heel, lift. Hinge forward. Press through the right heel, lift. All right, remember, we're adding on. So take what works, leave what doesn't. Tuck the back toes. Straighten the back leg as you hinge forward. Tap the knee down, lift the chest. You can tell I'm getting sweaty because my block is wanting to stick to my leg. We straighten, lift. Keep weight in that right heel. On this next one, we straighten the back leg and hold. Reach the arms up by the ears. Sweep the arms back and forward. Back and forward. Square off the hips. Maybe you can hinge a little more. Maybe you can bend through that right knee a little more. 2. Arms up by the ears. Lift the chest, bend the knee. Come all the way on down. Beautiful. Block off to the side. Told you that was it. I did not lie to you this time. Let's take a stretch to end. Bottom of the feet together. And just give yourself a little forward fold. Taking a moment to be really proud of yourself for showing up today. Always looking for moments where we can be a little kinder to ourselves. Plant the feet on the ground. Cross the right shin over the left thigh and then lift the chest. I like fingertips facing back. This is really unmanageable. You can do it seated or laying down. We switch it to the other side. Bring it down. You guys are all set. Any questions, requests, please comment below. If you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and until next time, see you later.